News, I'm Tim Berg.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save.
All right, roll the open right after the spot. Stand by.
Your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
Welcome to Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network. My name is Frank Perez. Today I'll be joined with my co-host, Oklahoma Brian. You can also find us at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk, on Twitter at Fifth Street Sports, and on the web at fifthstreetsports.com. Well, guys, today it's a Thursday, the last week of preseason football, and actually, college football actually starts, but we got a really nice show today. Brian's been prepping on it. He's really excited about it. Our first segment, Brian, is going to be you wanted to take them to a different level with loud sports fakes. Explain that to us.
That's right. Well, we've gotten a lot of questions over the last couple weeks. We've used the term fake bet, fake move. And quite a few people have written in asking, what do we mean by a fake move? And so I thought what we would do is two shows, really, today and tomorrow, examining the concept of betting quietly and betting loudly. And we talk about betting loudly. Oftentimes, we're talking about fake betting, or at times it can just be clumsy betting. Oftentimes it's fake betting. So this is betting with the intention of manipulating the market, trying to create a better entry point for you and trying to put people that are following you on the wrong side.
Exactly. This is just the introductory segment of the thing, because Brian, when we come back and you're going to give them a nice thing. This is for advanced betting. We're going to also have a second segment. A lot of the guys in the sports network wants us to talk a little bit about players and NFL and, what they're worth on the line values. We're going to talk about that. Then the third segment, Brian's going to go deeper into fakes, how you can really manipulate this line for yourself. So I think it's going to be a heck of a show, Brian. I mean, this is a really, really advanced stuff. We've given fundamentals. We've given all kinds of how to bet, how to use correlated parlays, teasers, so many things. And now we're going to dig a little bit deeper into one of your favorite things, which is stealth betting and loud betting. So, all right, folks, we're going to get ready over here. We're going to take a break. This is Oklahoma Brian and Frank Perez on Fifth Street Sports. We'll be back shortly.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking.
All right, nice open. You're clear.
Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that
Okay, levels are good, guys. Stand by.
for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network. We're back. We have Oklahoma Brian today, speaking about one of his favorite subjects, because I think Brian and I have been in the sports business together about 10 or 11 years now, since one of our heavy-set friends introduced us. His first name starts with an R. But since then, one thing about Brian, I got to tell you, because remember, guys, it's a jungle out there. It's a $1.10 jungle. There's landmines everywhere. We got to get sharp. We got to overcome. There's so many in-depth tricks to overcoming and making money at this. But on this one, I consider Brian at this angle, which is a very advanced angle. I consider him the Lou Gehrig of the screen, because, he's gotten the test of time. He's the iron horse as far as fakes, loud fakes, line moves, how to protect your outs. So, Brian, let's give our listeners your nice info on loud fakes.
Loud fakes. Okay, well, so the concept of a fake is a pretty interesting one. And, the first thing to remember when we're talking about sports betting is most financial markets have some kind of regulation that prohibits people from doing somewhat unscrupulous things, right? If you think of the SEC governing the stock market, or it doesn't matter whether we're talking about real estate or any kind of regulated market, we generally have to follow a agreed upon set of rules. The great thing about sports betting is it's kind of the Wild West. Anything goes. So we've, as an industry, we've developed a lot of interesting tools to kind of keep our competitors and our opponents honest. I think back to, Frank, I know you used to talk about in high school. I think you were quite the baseball pitcher, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So when you were pitching and you had a hitter kind of diving onto the plate, trying to, hit your outside pitches, maybe kind of crowding the plate, what was your method of correcting that?
High and tight inside.
High and tight inside, yeah. Well, sports betting's very much the same. If you're what we call an originator, right? You're the guy who actually has the information, or even if you're a mover, which is kind of the guy just below the originator, the guy that helps the originator get down, and you're trying to accumulate a pretty big position, and you've discovered you've got people tailing you, following you. You can either choose to accept it, right? you think of back when you were in school, there might be, let's say you were the kid that got the homework right every day, and the kids that sat next to you would just copy all your answers. You had a choice to make. You're either going to let them do it, or you were going to mess with them, right? And the same thing is true in the case of betting. So, in the case of a professional sports bettor, if he thinks he has someone following him or disrupting the market or making it hard for him to get down, he's got to retaliate with that inside pitch. And in the case of betting, that inside pitch is the fake bet, right? So let's say, Frank, you've got access to one of my accounts, whether you're booking me, you're an employee at a sports book, or you just somehow have access to one of the accounts I'm betting in. And let's say every day I'm dominating, Venezuelan baseball. Okay, I have some micro sport, some really small sport, women's basketball, doesn't matter. And I've got some incredible pipeline of information, and you know it. This Oklahoma Brian guy, man, his stuff is so good. I just need to follow him. Well, once I realize you're doing that, I'm going to take countermeasures, and I'm going to put in fake plays. And I've got two real objectives. One is to get you to stop following me. And the other one is to, if I think that the book is onto me, maybe thinks I'm too sharp, to maybe dull down the precision of my account. So I'm not winning at quite the same rate. And so in the most simplistic form, that's what a fake bet is. It's now we could take it even a step further. If I think that you're a big bettor and you're talking to other people and you have the ability to influence the line, now I'm really going to step up my fake bets, because I know that you might go out there and bet the game completely the wrong direction and create a better price for me to enter the market.
But how, Brian, how do you, for all the folks out there, how do you detect when you said, I see that somebody's on my tail, somebody's getting my info, from the sports book. How do you detect that if they're following you?
Yeah, that's a great question, Frank. I'm glad you asked, because the answer is a lot of guys don't really know. They suspect other people are following them. Oftentimes, they might see accounts. So if they have a relationship with with a betting office, let's say they go to bet. Let's just say something really obscure, like a prop, on a Sunday night football game. Let's say they bet, Shady McCoy rushing yards under 87.5. And right around the time they're going to bet that, they see a bunch of accounts that are not theirs betting the same exact bet. Ooh. Well, now at that point, someone's following me, someone's trying to steal my bet. And I've got to figure out a way to, if I'm really serious about this, I need to find a way to identify which of my outs is leaking and to put a fake into that out. And ultimately, my goal is to put you, the follower, on Queer Street, right? And that's has nothing to do with sexuality, just a term for putting somebody on the wrong side of a game. We call it putting them on Queer Street, or putting them on the wrong side. And that's my goal. Now, it's not just people following me. It can be the book itself. If I don't like the fact that, let's say a book is really lighting up when I go to bet them. Let's say I go to get a bet down at Sportsbook XYZ, and there's something wrong with the fact that every time I bet into them, the screen lights up, or maybe they move a game too much. Well, if they're not taking a big bet from me, it might be worth my while to show them the other side of the game. And
exactly. But to explain just a few of the things to explain for the listeners following out there, the screen is like, and we're going to have this for you next week or whatever, is when you have a line service, there's a screen up there with principal books that actually move the line, and that's how the markets move. Generally, like Pinnacle, Chris, Grande, Five Dimes, Heritage, those are the big line movers. Like when the line moves there, everybody follows. But This is Brian. Now correct me if I'm wrong. And the way that people find, can detect you and follow you and your sharp stuff is there's a lot of bookmakers that are in like a per head place. Let's say they have Sportsbook XYZ and they have 50 accounts. The next thing you know, one bookmaker says, wow, this account 123, which is yours, this guy beats me 9 out of 10 weeks. He's killing me every year. And and then that bookmaker is going to say, well, what's this guy betting? This guy's beating me every week. So the bookmakers that I don't think are so experienced, they just either throw you out, pay you off, don't pay you, and then you're done. The sharp bookmakers will say, hey, you know what? I'm going to cut his limits from 2,000 down to 1,000 or 500, but now this guy works for me because now he's detected it. So that's how your stuff's going to get leaked out, right? One of the ways.
Absolutely. That's one of the ways. Now, it could be just a rogue employee at the sportsbook. Say he's in Costa Rica, and the guy is he's making maybe a fair wage. Maybe he's making $8, $9, $10, $11 an hour, but he sees a lot of money passing back and forth across the table, and he's thinking, man, if only I could take this information and turn it into money. There's another leak, so you've got middle, management workers at the sportsbook also potentially leaking.
Exactly. And you can't blame them. You can't blame them because if I was a writer and I was seeing account 345 every single week, this guy wins. This guy has the best of it. You know what? I'm going to say, hey, you guys, let's go. But Brian, this is so cool. This segment is we got to take a break here now. We're going to be right back. Let's get into a little deeper on that, and we'll be right back. This is Brian and Frank from Fifth Street Sports.
All right, guys, you clear?
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not...
Sounds good.
Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables rules, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. You can find us on Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. I'm here today with Oklahoma Brian. Brian, we could talk about this for 4 hours about fakes and loud fakes and how the bookmakers get it. Let's go. You know what? Let's get about 5 more minutes in on this so you can get across some of your other 2 great points. Then we have a lot of folks calling in and tweeting in. They want to hear some content on NFL players, their values. But let's get back to your fakes and how we can punish the people following us and things like that.
Sure. Well, one question that a lot of people ask, and I think it's a legitimate question, but it's not well understood by many bettors. There's always a question as to, if you're winning money, why do you care if the line moves after you bet a game? So if I go and I bet, the Las Vegas Aces plus 13, and the game closes at plus 11, shouldn't I feel a little bit proud of the fact that I was able to bet a game that moved 2 points? Is that like the gambling version of a Buckeye? Do they put a sticker on my helmet for making a game sting and move 2 points? Yeah. And for the novice bettor, maybe that is a good feeling. It's fun to make the screen or to make the betting markets move. But for the professional bettor, they're looking for just the opposite. I use the analogy of I don't watch a lot of diving, but every 4 years I watch the Olympics, and you think of in the diving competition, one of the main ways they score diving is the divers need to enter the pool without any kind of big splash, just a small ripple, right? And the same thing is true with professional bettors. We generally don't want to create a lot of ruckus when we enter the market. We want to enter the market quietly, ideally, and have the market barely move. And the reason is because a lot of bookmakers, if they see a game constantly moving in my favor when I'm betting it, they're going to think I have an advantage on them. They're just going to basically not want my business. So My goal, it's a hard business, man, because we're laying 110. We're having a fight with other bettors. People are trying to steal our info, and then at the end of the day, we're trying to have the market not move. It's really tough.
Now, would you say some of the most paranoid folks on this, and with all reason too, like let's say for instance, Right Angle Sports, which is Raz Sports. Okay, yeah. They're originators, so they do their handicapping, and they know that at a certain time, let's say 11 a.m., they're going to release their 5 games, and they already got them in their hopper, like Oklahoma under 48. They're going to release these 5 games. They've got their number set in their mind. That's what the screen says. And they're going to give it out to so it's a very high prestige and high price service. So they have to keep the integrity of their numbers. So would you say those are the most paranoid services as far as not wanting their lines leaked out and integrity lost?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's a great point. And what really makes what you just described even more difficult is there's a certain amount of insiders that know what these guys are going to release, including the guys themselves, right? So if you're the guy who's releasing that play and you know that the world's going to go bonkers after your play is released, there's a certain amount of greed, that says, I always think of those movies with the devil and the angel on each shoulder, Right. And, remember in Animal House, the devil saying, do something really bad. The angel's saying, no, don't do that. If you're one of these guys, like you want to kind of, sneak out of the gate a little bit early and kind of rack up a little bit of the premium number before it gets released.
Oh yeah.
Problem is, but the problem is if someone sees you doing it and knows who you are, then they're gonna light that candle before you can, and all of a sudden you've got the screen blowing up before you've released your play, and that's never a good thing for those guys.
Plus, if you happen to be with whatever group you are, or let's say you're with Raz, or with a great group, even your group, if we're privileged to that early inside information, and you happen to tell somebody, might not even be it's your fault for telling somebody, but you happen to be the one that's guilty of hitting the screens, which is Pinnacle and all them, and making the line move. You're like that kid that was like a tattletale in school. Next thing you know, nobody's going to talk to you or tell you anything sensitive because you're a tattletale. You're going to get me in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yes, totally ostracized. You're in the corner,
right?
And nobody's sitting next to you at lunch.
But you got to understand, for like a service like Raz, they charge a lot of money, and if they've got a game ready to be put in for all their clients at under 48, and they leak it out to you, and you drive it down to 47, 46 and a half. Wow. Now they got to release. They're either not going to release it, be pissed off because they wanted to release it to all their clients at 48, and you screwed their lineup and moved it down to 46 and a half or 47. You're going to be that tattletale in school. You're going to be put off their A list. You know what I mean? You're going to be put on their tattletale list. And the next thing you know, you're not going to be trusted. But Brian, what we got to get back to is, and then we're going to touch on the third segment back to this, because I know this is one of your favorite things. Like I said, you're the Lou Gehrig of stealth when it comes to the screen. We have a big following here that wants to hear some NFL content on players, what they're worth, how you think that their season's going to go. Like, I know you want to fade Brady because he's already in his 40s, so. Name somebody else this year that you think we can find some value on or against. So
I generally think that Ben Roethlisberger is a little. I think he's a little overbought at this point in his career, and I'm fading the Steelers. That's one guy that I guess there's two issues here. Guys that if they're healthy, am I fading them? And then the other question you might be asking is if 2 weeks from now we were to wake up and find out that player X, tripped over the dog in the morning, taking him out to go to the bathroom, and he's going to miss that week. How much is that guy worth? And that's one of the most difficult questions in all of sports betting, is trying to assess the value. I generally think that the public overreacts to a lot of I might even go a step further and say the greater the player, the greater the public overreacts to how much they're worth.
But quarterbacks take for all intents and purposes, quarterbacks are worth a ton. Brady versus the backup. But you know who I got my eye on this year, who I'm going to watch? I'm not going to do nothing with him yet. Is this quarterback for Kansas City? This Mahomes. This guy. He came out of Texas Tech, and he's a gunslinger like a Brett Favre with a lot of talent, okay? And this guy, to me, he's either going to light it up or he's going to throw a ton of interceptions. But if this kid is on and he's reading the defenses clear and he's able to connect with his receivers, follow Andy Reid, really come through, boy, you can really get some great value for 2 or 3 weeks. Or if you see, him all confused, not realizing these defensive NFL schemes and stuff, you're going to get a lot of pick sixes. You're going to get a lot of bozo plays, and I'm gonna go against them for 2 or 3 weeks until the markets adjust.
Oh, I totally agree. I think back as the ultimate example of what you just described was if you think back to 2002, I think it was. Well, it's going back a ways. Trent Green gets injured in the preseason for the Rams. Kurt Warner steps in. Yeah. People don't have terribly high expectations, but the really sharp bettors realized within a very short amount of time, this Rams team is really something special.
Yeah.
But the lines didn't catch up for weeks. And I think there was like 4 or 5 weeks. It was just an orgy it was just a question of how much money can you make on this team.
Yeah, and I'll never forget it. I was living in Reno in 1980, and in the 49er in the second half game, something happened to the 49er starter, and in came this guy. Go, well, now here's this kid. He's going to come in, and his name was Joe Montana. I said, who the heck is that? The guy said, well, that's Mr. and Mrs. Montana's kid. I mean, like, nobody knew who that was, right? So, I mean, that's when you say overreaction, you're right. When they say, like Tennessee starting a backup guy today. Well, that backup guy, they talk about him like he's like a bellman or a bartender. There's only 90 NFL quarterbacks on the face of the earth. You know what I mean? So that guy as a backup, he's an NFL quarterback that won jobs from all the rest of the people in the world. He's not a bus boy or a cab driver that put a helmet on, right? He's still good.
I don't know. I've seen a few that look like busboys with helmets.
Right? No, but I think you're right. Watch the overreaction on these line values on certain players, right?
Yeah, and I think you make a good point that the quarterback position is a position that generally is worth a few points, even with a good backup. Running back, I would say, is the opposite. I think running backs are way deeper than the public realizes.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back, guys.
Oh, are we?
We're not too early.
All right, you're clear.
Need auto parts but can't get to a store right now? Head to O'ReillyAuto.com. Buy your parts online and pick them up in any of the 5,000 O'Reilly Auto Parts stores nationwide. No shipping cost, easy returns, and convenient pickup on your schedule. Shop your way at O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. But thankfully, there's Home Advisor. Home Advisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
Home Advisor.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines. It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485.
All right, here comes the long segment. Stand by.
800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. My name's Frank Perez, and I'm with my co-host Oklahoma Brian. All right, Brian, so we're zigzagging a little bit. We started with loud betting and moving the screen and fakes. Then we went into a little bit of NFL because they want some content. You know, some of the players, if they want content on why we're betting a team or why we're betting against them. Now, let's go into your second part of your favorite thing. We'll touch a little bit on stealth betting, one of your expertises.
Oh, well, I thought we were going to do stealth betting tomorrow.
Okay, no, then let's keep stealth betting for tomorrow, and we'll just keep it loud. We'll just keep it loud today, brother.
Yeah, we could do a lot of loud, talking about loud betting. One thing that I'd like to point out, a lot of people are always worried, is this a fake bet? Is this a real bet? And it's funny, every year I hear during halftimes, I'll hear someone say, hey, that halftime move, was that fake or was that real? And I just think to myself, come on, it's halftime. There's no time for fake betting at halftime.
Correct.
I mean, there's very, very few exceptions. We don't have all of the time for the elaborate kabuki dance of the fake bet, of setting up the bet and one thing about halftimes you're always going to know is halftimes, there's like 1% exception. It's very, very specific set of scenarios. But 99.9% of the time, you're going to know halftime moves are the real moves. That's simply a game of speed. If you can chase down a good number on a halftime move, you don't have to know why it happened or who was behind it. Generally, that's really true the first 2 or 3 weeks of any season, of any sport. If you can nail those halftime moves and get a good number, you're gonna do pretty well in terms of ROI. But
so Brian, but give them an example. Give them like a legitimate example. Like when you loved the Pro Bowl, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know how much you won on it. It was the first year you said, Frank, I love this under 93. Every year went over. This year you said they've changed the defensive rules. We love the under 93. You had this in our hopper a week ahead of time. Now, let's say, for instance, you were a guy that, you got 7 or 8 bookmakers in the Midwest, and you know that, like, wow, you're crushing these guys now. They're paying attention to you. They're looking into your accounts, and they're betting your stuff out. They're giving your stuff to other players. How can you use that to loud bet and get a number to your advantage?
Well, okay, so when you see that scenario happening, that basically everyone is basically feasting on you, that they're having a free lunch on your information. Well, that's when you really want to. I think of it like football. What happens when the defense is over pursuing in football? You call a misdirection play, right? Like a end around or something like that. So the same thing is true in betting. I'm going to. Side B is the side that I really covet. That's the right side. I think that I can get down enough on side B afterwards. I'm going to bet side A, and I'm going to let all the idiots follow behind me and drive that price up a half point, a point. I mean, there's really, if it's well organized, you can really, and it's an obscure sport, you'd be amazed at how much you can.
Yeah.
But the term we like to use is phony up a game, right? So we're trying to phony the number up so that when we're ready to go bet it, we have the best possible market entry point. And you could never do this in the stock market or any traditional market. You end up you're in handcuffs on the evening news.
You can end up, and then here, like, let's set up for our guys here. Like, let's set up a play. Okay, you love the under 93. I think it was in the Pro Bowl. So you already said, all right, we want about 40 dimes on under 93. That's our goal. So now you say to
Sure.
yourself, but Frank, I got 5 or 6 of these guys. Then I've been looking pretty good. I think they're leaking my stuff out. Every time I make a play, it moves. So we said, okay, all right, let's punish them. We'll teach them a lesson. So so we liked under 93. So you go into those 6 books and bet 500 or 1,000 over 93. Then the line,
that's a great
right. The line goes to 94 and a half, 95.
Right.
And
that's another point. As a professional bettor, it's really important to always have a good accounting of which of your accounts are loud accounts and which are quiet accounts. It could be the same book. Like I could have 4 accounts at Pinnacle, right? And 3 of them could be quiet and 1 could be really loud. Like I could just say, Frank, the craziest thing, whenever I bet $500 in this account, Pinnacle goes nuts. And if you're smart, you're not going to mix your IP addresses. You're going to create the illusion that these 4 Pinnacle accounts are 4 unique humans on this planet. Because now you're putting the pressure on the sportsbook to have to know who you are and to profile you correctly. And I got news for you. They're not going to get it right every time. They're going to mistakenly think one of these accounts is something that it's not. And when you realize you have a loud account at that sportsbook, well, that's another tool in your tool belt that you can use to phony up the line. It might be an account that is booked, what we call Dutch booked, or where there's an agent who's booking half the 3 counter. Who knows? And when you get into these elaborate bookmakings between and the house, you're going to find accounts that are remarkably quiet, accounts that are really loud. So you can use that. And like you said in the very first segment, there's only about 5 books in the world, more or less, that you really need to move the entire marketplace. Like people like to think of Las Vegas as being the Wall Street of sports betting. Well, I guess in perception that might be the case, but in reality, it's about 4 or 5 offshore books. The books in Vegas, for the most part, are following what the offshore books do. So if you can train those offshore books to do what you want them to do, if they get them to follow your bets, everyone in the world every other book is gonna follow those guys. That's a really important concept, but I don't think a lot of bettors completely understand how little money it takes to phony up the
especially
$1 million industry.
And I remember you had about 4 Pinnacle accounts. One of them, you were right. I mean, you bet 500, 750, 1,000, and that line just went crazy. 15 cents, 20 cents, moved a point and a half. Then you had these other 3. You said, Frank, look at these. These are such in the radar. I can hit this thing 6 times and it doesn't move. And then you knew that was a Dutch account with an agent. Like Pinnacle was only booking half. But here's how you know how much sharper these books like Pinnacle, Chris, and everything are compared to the Las Vegas books, okay? Pinnacle is an operation out of Curacao. All they do is book sports, okay? And at very reduced margins on credit, $1.03, $1.05, $1.04. And they let you bet during some of the games when the games are stabilizing, okay, 20, 40, 50, $500,000 on the Super Bowl, 40,000, 20,000 on baseball totals at $1.04, because this is all they do. They got to watch their lines. They got to watch everything. And then how these Las Vegas books where everybody thinks, oh, look at the numbers in Vegas. Vegas it charges $1.10 in cash. There's no credit. $1.10 in cash. They got each property has 2, 3, 4,000 slot machines backing them up with major pits. What I mean by pit is crap tables, 21 tables, rooms, restaurants, everything. So if they made a mistake on a game for 30,000, well, it's not as big. You know what I mean? Like, come on, you got 4,000 slot machines to bail you out, and all this. You make a $40,000-$50,000 mistake on a offshore book. That's all you got, baby. You just lost $50,000 on that for that day. So they're much sharper than the Vegas books, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely, yeah. And they have better data. They have the ability to a sports book in Las Vegas. When you walk into it, ideally you're going to show them your player card. That's the first thing they want to know. Who is this guy? So I can, so we know exactly who we're dealing with. But depending on how much you're betting and whether you choose to identify yourself, they don't know who you are. in theory, a sports book offshore, they have your IP address. They might have a cookie on your computer. They have the history of you. It's a lot of data that they have. So they're in a better position, more or less, to know who it is that they're taking a bet from, and that allows them to react better.
Well, absolutely. I walk into some of these places, and I'll name it. I don't care. I walk into like the Wynn sometimes, and I see three guys, behind the sportsbook counter, all in suit and ties, professional, looking at all these screens. I go up there to make a $3,000 bet. I got three guys in suit and ties analyzing this wager, the whole thing. I go, what are you kidding me? I go, if you, you go to Costa Rica, you got everybody in flip flops and shorts, just
That's
you know
right.
what I mean. But they know every single line move, where the sharp money is, where it isn't. They're really on.
Yeah.
It's a lot different, than they're just a lot sharper over there because they have.
Isn't
to
it funny?
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You walk into a typical office in Costa Rica, and it's a 24-year-old Costa Rican kid with a baseball cap in an office chair twirling around. And you walk into us. Yeah.
Booking 25,000 on NBA totals, or on NBA sides. I mean, and over here you got three guys in suit and ties just sitting back there, and when you go to make a bet, it's like you're bothering them. Like, oh, they got to get up, and who is this? Show them your red card. Come on, this is supposed to be Vegas, but.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really ashamed of that part in Vegas. How the cowards.
Don't forget the clip. Don't forget the clipboard. The guys always carry the clipboard around, right?
Yeah, and they're supposed to be the sharpest. And then they're not. See, and then the one advantage that some of the sharp bookmakers in Costa Rica, Antigua, Curacao, and all they have is, I know a lot of them. Let's say you have a guy that's beating your brains out. He's you gave him a $5,000 limit in UFC, and the guy's crushing you. Okay, crushing you. So, and you just see his thing. For he's not lucky. You've seen 40 bets, and he's doing great. Well, these guys immediately cut him down to 1,000. They don't kick him out. They cut him down to 1,000, and now that guy essentially works for the sportsbook, because every time he bets 1,000, they bet out at other sportsbooks 40,000. So they don't want to get rid of this guy. You know what I mean? Because now he's working for the sportsbook.
But what you just described is a dangerous situation. If you only have one data point, if you only have that one account, you really open yourselves up to the guy might be giving you the wrong side half the time, the right side half the time. To really feel confident that you have your pulse on this guy that you're following, you really need to have multiple data points on him. You need to be able to see his stuff in lots of accounts and see it all match. That's critical.
Yeah, but as you can see, once you get that, once you made that, you say, okay, this guy's a real deal with the data point. The offshore books have the ability to not throw this guy out, or just cut him back, and now he's going to be the one that you're going to make you're going to set traps, you're going to move your lines, you're going to do all of your things according to this guy's bets, including bet out. Like, you'd be happy to pay this guy $20,000 a week because you probably made $200,000 a week off of his stuff that you moved or trapped players with.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% correct.
But would you say, in this loud betting, done the way you say it, when you know that, hey, come on, the gig's up, somebody's following me, somebody's like, you can really, really punish these followers, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, in the books. I mean, here's another concept that I think is foreign to a lot of people. With a lot of these paper head offices, we'll carry this over to the next segment. But
go ahead, Brian. We got.
I was going to say,
we got 30 seconds.
You don't know if these bets are real bets or if it's monopoly money, and I'll follow through on that briefly when we come back from the next commercial.
Boy, this is great stuff. I'm telling you. Wait till tomorrow's show when you go opposite and you go about not quiet betting. That's the art. That's the art. That's the Picasso of the screen, my friend. So we'll be right back here in just a few minutes. We got to take a break. Frank and Brian from Fifth Street Sports. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Pedro Fernandez here. You might know me as the host of Ring Talk Live Worldwide, but this time I'm here to talk about that 4-letter word everybody dreads, pain. If you have back pain or knee pain like I do, hey, you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. I'm talking about if Medicare is your primary medical insurance, and guess what? You can qualify for a back or knee brace or a shoulder brace for little or no charge. Anything to help me with the pain, hey, it makes it more manageable, gets my attention, folks. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for your back, ankle, knee, or shoulder, guess what? Give the Health Alert Hotline a call, toll free, 1-800-428-1570. 1-800-428-1570. You can qualify for a back or knee brace or a shoulder brace for little or no charge. 1-800-428-1570. The Health Alert Hotline, 1-800-428-1570.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank with my co-host Oklahoma Brian. Gosh, Brian, I got to tell you this. I mean, we're gonna do a few shows on this because this was your favorite topics. You know, this is where you are, like, I call you the Bobby Fischer of sports. Of stealth and loud betting. But it's amazing how the time goes by here. You know, we were so excited to do this show, and it's just like my honeymoon night. You're so excited, and before you know it, you're done. You know what I mean? You didn't even last. Like you waited all this time. So, guys, what we're going to do is, Brian, give them about a minute and recap a little bit on the loud betting that you had today. You know, the little tips on it.
Yeah, so I think basically, about 95% of loud betting that's intentionally loud, it's done for a reason. It's done to get the market to move in the direction that the person doing the betting wants the market to move. And as a bettor, you need to always be aware of why is the market moving, and you're going to make better decisions if you understand how things, how and why the market's moving. And so even if you're not the originator or you're not booking this stuff, to become the next level of bettor, you need to understand what everyone else is doing so that you can enter into the ecosphere and interact with everyone else in a smart way.
Brian, really, really quick, because the last preseason games are tonight. I want to share with them one of my selections. We like Seattle over Oakland. Give them something really quick that we're really on. Let's give them a nice little bonus here. I
really like Minnesota in college football tonight. The line's moved up to 22. I love Minnesota in college football tonight. It's
I'm going with Seattle. And here's a little bonus play for you. It just came in really big. I don't know what the line is, folks, but it came in really big for one of our major sources, Delaware. But it came in at 17 and a half. I don't know the line right now. It came in at 17 and a half. It looks good.
But I think the same source played New Hampshire about an hour ago.
Oh, all right. Well, folks, thank you very much for listening. Brian, great show. Thank you, buddy. I will see you tomorrow. We're going to go opposite into stealth. Take care of yourselves. Remember, no chasing. It's Frank from 5th Street Sports. Have a good afternoon.
Nice show, guys.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Keep in touch.
USA Radio News.
Thursday, a memorial service was held for the late Senator John McCain.